Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Alya Husna Binti Izani and my metric number 272680. I will be the first presenter which I'm going to explain the basic that everybody needs to know and understand about copyright. Also, we will be focusing on copyright in Malaysia. Let's begin with the basic one, which is the definition. Generally, copyright is a type of intellectual property that protects a creative work by giving the owner or author the exclusive right over the works. And it can exist in many different work products, and it is usually valid only for a limited time. In Malaysia, the primary copyright law is the Copyright Act 1987, which created to help in protecting the owner from unauthorized adaptation or reproduction of the work involved. In addition, there is another law related to copyright, which are Industrial Design Act 1996 and Industrial Design Regulation 1999, which obviously created to protect industrial design. Copyright law in Malaysia specify the creative item which may be protected through the copyright issued in the country. As you can see from the slide, these are among the items which may be copyrighted in Malaysia. Consists of musical work, book, films, sound recording, broadcast, and many others. Before any of these creative work may be copyrighted, sufficient evidence must be provided which confirm that such work are original pieces. Therefore, to establish ownership of any copyrightable work in Malaysia, the creator of the work should prepare the appropriate documentation to prove ownership. Next, we will talk about the right of copyright owner in Malaysia. In Malaysia, government has provided exclusive right to the owner of the work, including the legal right, economic right, and moral right. Let's start with the first right, which the legal right. This right allows the author, creator, and designer of any copyrighted work in Malaysia to protect their work according to the copyright law of Malaysia. Next is in terms of economy. This right is granted so that the owner will receive the right of communication to the public, right of reproduction, and right of commercial rental. Also, it allows creators to receive financial benefit through the use of their work for commercial purposes. The last one is moral right. In brief, moral right allows the author to claim the right to originality of the creation, which are involved the right to prevent any user from mutilating, distorting, or modifying the author works in an authorized manner. Next, the duration of copyright protection. Depending on the copyright law of the country, for Malaysia, the duration of copyright protection lasts for the lifetime of the creator plus 50 years following the death of the copyrighted work.
Hi, my name is Lokh Yee Ching, matrix number 270800. I will be presenting the first issue, which is the fake face mask and medicine. According to CNA, Malaysians' life had been put in danger in this COVID-19 pandemic, as the disease can be fatal. Somehow, the condition can be worse because of the selling of fake goods in the market, such as face masks. In March 2022, an operation led by Interpolice revealed that Malaysia was one of the countries involved where the problem of counterfeits is widespread. The COVID-19 pandemic might well have added a new twist to the issue, but counterfeit masks were not the ones in existence which might harm Malaysians' health. Falsified medicine are the most harmful of this counterfeit product. Most purchasers are unable to distinguish between the genuine and counterfeit, since the latter frequently attempts to portray beneath respectable trademarks. The fake medicine will be harming people's life as the production of medicine did not match the standard manufacture procedure required. So through this issue, we found out that the ethical issue that can be identified was business ethical issue. It was clearly that out of the three types of business ethical issue, corporate issue is the most suitable issue in this case. From this case, debates concerning the morality of a company business choice to qualify item despite defects in manufacture process and producing counterfeit face mask, and medicine.
Good day everyone, I'm Hui Rou, metric number 270620. So today I would like to share about the ethical issue in songs and music related to the topic given. So one of the example cases that related to the songs and music copyrights issue in Malaysia is Sheikh Abdullah Ahmad versus Universal Music Malaysia Sdn Bhd. So in 1983, Sheikh Abdullah Ahmad signs a contract with the Malaysian Recording Corporation (MRC) to make an album. He claimed that he is entitled to a 20% royalty on his work. He was entitled to get the royalty from each album and or song from the album sold. The album created by the singer was held by the Nakwat Production Sdn Bhd, who entered into a sales and purchase agreements with the defender in 2005. So later, the plaintiff knew that the album was able to be downloaded from iTunes and it cost $4.99. Hence, it's indicated that the plaintiff can claim the performance right under Section 60A of the Copyright Acts of 1987. So in the end, the court partially granted the plaintiff's claims, ruling that the defendants were obligated to give the plaintiff equitable recompenses. However, the plaintiff was not entitled to a 20% royalty from the defendant's seats. It could not demonstrate that such a provision was contained in 1983 context. So according to the provisions of 2005 agreements, the plaintiff can only entitle 8% of royalty on iTunes sales of his album. So the ethical issue indicated in the case is a corporate issue in which the relevant corporate should pay the royalty to the plaintiff since he's the one who produced the albums. The company sold the albums to another party and the plaintiff did not receive any benefits from his contributions.
Good day everyone, my name is Pei Shan. My metric number is 270429. The next issue I would like to share is about the patent violations on hate scarf among local businesses. One of the example cases related is alluded to Muhammad Abdul Absi and others versus Hia Collection Sdn Bhd. The background of these cases is about the owner business lost their profit as a third party shows counterfeit patent hate scarf at a lower price than the owner. And the laws can look into these cases are the Patent Act 1983 and the Patent Regulations 1986.
My name is Huang Jing Xin. My metric number is 271233. As a student, the beginning of each semester is nearly always followed by a brief time of perplexity. From the most frequently requested questions are the subject to register for, the names of lecturers, and the number of assignments. However, there is always a regularity in the momentary dissonance, the quest of textbooks. The textbook unavailability and high cost have forced many students to rely on photocopy or electronic copies to use in classroom. Longman Malaysia Sdn Bhd with Pustaka Data Pelajaran Sdn Bhd is an early case involving copyright in textbook.
Since we mentioned that the ethical issue is the corporate issue of business ethics, utilitarianism is the ethical principle that matches this case. According to utilitarianism, it is right as long as the action will produce the greatest net benefits or lowest cost. So it is right to produce fake face masks or medicine to fulfill the demand of citizens and solve the crisis. The manufacturer can make money and at the same time, citizens can get what they want. This is a win-win situation. However, this fake face mask does not have the ability to provide fluid barrier protection such as the real mask. The fake Panadol, which also can cause harm to an individual as it was not manufactured according to the standard and approved by the Ministry of Health of Malaysia, KKM.
The ethical theory that can apply in the Sheikh Abdullah Ahmad versus Universal Music Malaysia Sdn Bhd case is the plaintiff has the rights to claim the royalty. So in general, a right is an individual's entitlement to some things. So our Malaysian government has also granted copyright owners some rights, which include legal, moral, and economic rights. So firstly, a legal rights enable the owners of any copyrighted work in Malaysia to protect their works following Malaysian's copyright rules. If a copyright breach occurs, the creator or author have the rights to sue the accountable persons. So secondly, moral right empower the creator to accept ownership of the creations on originality. This right include preventing others from unauthorizedly mutilating, destroying, or changing the creator works. So thirdly, economy rights enable creators to gain financial reward for the commercial use of their works. So these rights are granted to the works owner to use the works for public communication, reproduction, performance, redistributions, and commercial rental.
The ethic theories and principles that can apply into the patent infringement cases are: first is legal right. A patent is a legal right given to an individual or product. Innovations are encumbered by others who wish to duplicate, utilize, and offer it. Second is moral right. Moral right defend the non-economic creative interest as the producers may have invested a significant amount of time, energy, effort, and creative investment. Third is justice and fairness. The judgment states if the intended interpretation does not apply, it would be unfair to fashion designers who came up with ideas that can solve certain problems in the fashion industry in practice, but cannot be protected and take advantage of the way fashion designers grant patents.
The ethical theory for this case is rights and duties. Ethics determines the distinction between right and wrong. Laws are the rules which have to be followed, and the ethics are entirely voluntary. Behaving ethically entails more than simply obeying the law. It also entails expecting of your rights to be respected as well as respecting the rights of others through ethical duties.
Hi, my name is Teoh Jia Yi and my matrix number is 270733. I would like to present the ways to solve the first issue, which is fake masks and medicines. First of all, the government must cooperate and involve in intelligent exchange with the brand owner on an online platforms. During COVID-19 pandemic, internet shopping is rising, bringing convenience to consumer purchases and social distance practices. The brand owners will have the symbols of 100% authentic products. Therefore, Shopee and Lazada must remove the listing of counterfeit items in their apps. Next, the governments must also lower the poverty gaps so that Malaysians' spending level will be improved. This is due to job losses, low salaries, and low prices of fake goods. Therefore, the governments must regulate minimum wage in the labor markets, provide subsidies, and other income support. In addition, citizens themselves has the responsibility to prevent buying fake goods. As the demand of the fake goods decreases, the supplier will also decrease their products to avoid financial losses. Next, I will continue with the ways to solve the second issue, which is song and music. Firstly, the artist should be knowledgeable about the terms of a contract before signing it. It is undeniable that understanding through the contract can minimize the likelihood of misunderstanding and misinformation. Next, all the corporations must protect their artist's copyright. The singer royalty must be rewarded and appreciated as he produces and creates his albums. It is unethical if the publisher uploads his album without considering his contributions. In addition, the singers are encouraged to join the Music Licensing Society as a member. For example, Music Copyright Protection Berhad. This society will help its members to obtain music license and pay royalty when the music is played and performed. Lastly, music creators must navigate and find their positions in the music industry as the internet continues to transform it.
The ways to solve and avoid patent infringements are reducing the risk of infringing a competitor patent by accessing the freedom to operations. The second way is the owner has a right to file a lawsuit against the infringer under the Act and Regulation. And last is to pass the doctrine of equivalent test. The DOE test can examine a product or process through the lens of a patent technology by analyzing its function, method, and result.
The first way to solve the issue is using the trademark database. When screening your book for any trademark breaches, you can use the trademark database. Next, if you wish to sell your book, you need an ISBN, International Standard Book Number. A book's ISBN is a means of identify the publication. If you intend to sell your book, you will be required to have one by the majority of merchants. Lastly, the rights reserve notice is important. The copyright holder, according to the rights reserve notice, retains full ownership of the book and all of its parts.
To conclude, copyright protects creators' original work, allow them to use and distribute it. Intellectual property is protected by law governing the expressions of an ideas. These etiquette issues have occurred in Malaysia for many years. For example, fake masks and medicines often happens to others who lesser use the technology applications, especially when the cases was reported through Facebook and other social media. Thus, the government and citizens are responsible for keeping their country harmonious from this etiquette issue.
The lesson I have learned from the cases is that the important to protect our intellectual property through the legal protection. A patent gives the creator the right to secure their own property under the Patent Act 1983 in Malaysia. It is legal to sue others if the stealing and copying of the owner's original work is found. It is our right to safeguard our own interests.
Through these several issues, I have learned about the importance of having the knowledge of intellectual property and copyright. Not only that, but I also gained some personal ethical lessons from the cases. So first of all, I will respect and appreciate the corrections of the copyrighted owner by using their words legally and properly. Moreover, I will not buying the items or products in copyrighted breach. I believe that this action can influence the people around me and raise their awareness to support the genius path.
What I learned from the ethical lesson is that copyright improves the owner's productivity while reducing concern about fair use. It is necessary to preserve intellectual property to encourage innovations. This knowledge seems to be a valuable asset for me in my daily life and future career. I will conduct research and seek permissions from the owner before using their work that does not belong to me. It will also increase my awareness by reviewing trademarks and being cautious with suspiciously low prices while making purchasement. That's all from me, thank you.
I have learned that the value of intellectual property is an important component of the modern educational experience. Copyright is important because it protects the value of an author's academic or researcher's work by allowing the creator of the work to safeguard it against unlicensed or unacknowledged use. This can prevent their work from being copied to the point where they cannot successfully sell it or obtain credit for it.
What I learned from the lesson was that the government should raise awareness among the citizens so that the copyright and intellectual property issue can be lower. Furthermore, counterfeit items should not be supported by us, whether through online or physical store. We should learn more about fake items and read more news about the fake item and where to prevent. I believe that one day we will be able to solve this issue. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Alya. As we have discussed in several copyright-related cases just now, there are many personal ethical lessons that I have learned from those cases. First of all, I will not support any business that is directly or indirectly involved in copyright issue, either nationally or internationally. Second, as a concerned Malaysian, I think we need to spread awareness among the community or society about the importance of copyright protection to local business owners. For example, we can run a public awareness campaign related to intellectual property right to help people or society to understand and become more appreciative of the value of intellectual property. And lastly, I will not use any information except information from the public domain until I get permission and approval from the owner. Thank you.